Have you ever stood in a crowded room and still felt invisible, not because no one saw you, but because no one truly understood you? There is a loneliness that doesn't come from being alone. It comes from being different. It comes from seeing the world in colors that others have never imagined. It comes from loving with a depth others are afraid to even feel. And it comes from carrying a frequency that vibrates beyond the surface of life. This is the hidden burden of the chosen ones. You were never made to blend in. You weren't born to walk the well-trodden path of comfort, conformity, and casual connection. You are a soul sent here for disruption, for light, for divine recalibration. And that weight, though sacred, is heavy. The world will often misread you. You'll be called too sensitive when in truth, you're just in tune. You'll be told you're too intense, when in fact, your soul simply refuses to live at surface level. You'll be labeled complicated, when in reality, you're just unwilling to live an inauthentic life. And in relationships, that burden can feel even heavier. You may crave connection more deeply than most, but also feel more isolated than anyone else you know. It's not because you're incapable of love. It's because you were designed for soul love, not imitation love. You were designed for alignment, not attachment. And until you meet someone who can hold the magnitude of your essence, life may lead you through seasons of divine aloneness. But let me be clear, your solitude is not a curse. It's not a flaw. It's a rite of passage. The chosen ones are often called to walk alone, not because they are unloved, but because they are being prepared. In this video, we will reveal 8 rarely spoken, deeply spiritual reasons why chosen ones often find themselves without a partner. These reasons may seem dark on the surface, but within them lie sacred truths, soul lessons, and the keys to a deeper kind of connection. If your heart is tired of waiting, if you're wondering why love seems so close yet always slips away, you are not broken. You are becoming. Type 1111 in the comments if you feel this message is exactly what your soul needed today. This moment isn't an accident, it's divine alignment. Let us walk together now through the sacred shadows of your story. Their energy feels like a storm to others. The energy of a chosen one is not soft rain. It's not a passing breeze. It's a storm, and not just any storm, a sacred one. One that uproots illusions, cracks open dormant hearts, and forces truth to rise to the surface. When you carry the light of awakening within you, it becomes impossible to exist quietly. Even in silence, your presence speaks. Even in stillness, your vibration moves. People are drawn to you like moths to flame. They sense the depth in your voice, the wisdom behind your eyes, the calm in your chaos. But what they don't always anticipate is that your presence demands truth. Your frequency doesn't just attract, it exposes. And for many, that exposure is terrifying, because most people are not ready to confront their own shadows. Most are not ready to feel deeply. Most are not ready to see themselves, and you, chosen one, act as a mirror. Romantically, this becomes even more complex. What begins as admiration often turns into discomfort. Partners may feel captivated by your essence, intoxicated by your awareness, and held by your emotional depth, until they realize they are being asked silently to rise, to meet you in emotional maturity, to open their spirit, to heal. And that journey is not something everyone is willing or able to take. You're not overwhelming, you're not too much. What you are is a reflection of everything another soul hasn't yet processed. You are a reminder of where they've abandoned themselves. You are a symbol of a life lived in alignment. And for those who haven't yet reached that space, being around you can feel like standing in a hurricane, sacred, yes, but also shaking. But hear me clearly. You are not here to shrink. You are not here to dim your radiance so others can feel comfortable in your shadow. Love, for the chosen one, cannot be transactional. It cannot be based on ego comfort or emotional passivity. It must be rooted in resonance, in mutual elevation, in soul fire. So if you've found yourself alone after people seem drawn to you only to retreat, know that your energy did not fail. It revealed, it purified, and it protected. You are a force of nature, and nature does not apologize for its power. The right partner won't fear your energy, they will rise to meet it. And until then, your storm is a sanctuary, not a sentence. They see through the masks, and that scares people. To be spiritually awake is to carry a kind of sight that cannot be taught. Chosen ones don't just look, they see, and not the image, not the performance, not the mask that society trains people to wear. No, chosen ones see the soul, the silent pain behind the smile, the wounded child behind the arrogance, the fear behind the control, the longing behind the loudness. It's not a talent, it's not even a choice, it's a soul instinct. But in a world where hiding is the norm, being seen is terrifying. Most people are terrified of being known too deeply because they haven't yet learned to accept themselves. So when you come along with your raw perception and intuitive gaze, you unsettle their foundation. You remind them of everything they are trying to forget. And that kind of presence, even when loving, can feel like a threat to someone who is still clinging to their mask. In love, this truth becomes heartbreakingly evident. You may find yourself drawing close to someone, feeling potential, only to have them suddenly pull away. They may not even know why, they just don't feel ready, or they tell you it's not the right time. But beneath those words is a deeper reality. They fear being exposed. Because when you see someone as they truly are, you also hold the power to touch the parts they've buried. And unless they are brave enough to face those parts, they will distance themselves from you. This gift of perception is also your challenge. It creates a hunger in you for truth. You can't play emotional games. You can't pretend things are fine when they aren't. You can't settle for surface-level attraction or scripted connection. You yearn for rawness, for someone who isn't afraid to be seen and isn't afraid to see you back. And because such people are rare, your path often leads through silence and solitude. But do not resent this gift. It's not a curse, it's your compass. It protects you from illusion. It keeps you from wasting your heart on connections that can't sustain truth. And it ensures that when your partner does come, when someone finally sees you, not just your body or your potential, but your soul, you will feel it instantly. Because it won't feel like exposure. It will feel like home. So hold your vision. Do not close your eyes to make others comfortable. You were born to see through the darkness, not to pretend it's light. Their life purpose is their first love. For the chosen ones, life is never just about living. It is about fulfilling, about becoming, about answering a call that was whispered into their soul long before they ever arrived on earth. While many seek love as the central source of identity or happiness, chosen ones were never designed to orbit around another person. They were built to orbit around a mission. A divine assignment, a spiritual blueprint written by the Creator. This doesn't mean chosen ones are incapable of love. On the contrary, their hearts are vast, capable of holding the weight of 1,000 lifetimes of affection. But their love flows first toward truth, toward healing, toward a vision of the world that is more whole, more awakened, more alive. Their purpose is not something they visit occasionally. It is their home, their sanctuary, their first love. And anything that threatens to distract them from it, no matter how enticing, becomes unbearable to carry. Relationships built on codependency, distraction, or escapism cannot survive in the presence of a soul that is called to walk a higher path. Many potential partners misunderstand this as coldness or emotional distance. They assume the chosen one is indifferent when in fact they are simply focused. They are not ignoring love. They are protecting their energy, channeling it towards something sacred. This commitment can become a source of friction. While others chase romantic milestones, chosen ones chase alignment. While others dream of settling down, chosen ones dream of rising up. It's not that they are against companionship. They simply cannot sacrifice their soul to achieve it. They know that anything less than a partner who walks with them, who respects their calling and even strengthens it, is a weight, not a gift. The chosen one would rather walk alone than walk in the wrong direction. They know that a relationship without spiritual purpose quickly becomes a distraction, and that settling for comfort is betrayal to the mission they were born for. Their heart is loyal, yes, but their loyalty lies first with God, with truth, with the reason they were sent here in the first place. And when the time is right, when a partner appears who not only honors but understands that mission, they will open their heart fully. But until then, their purpose is their first and most faithful love. They outgrow people rapidly through spiritual awakenings. The journey of the chosen one is not linear. It is a spiral of rising, shedding, expanding, and evolving. While the world moves steadily through routines and seasons, chosen ones often experience rapid internal transformations, sudden awakenings, deep realizations, and painful yet powerful shifts in identity. What once felt like home can become a cage. What once felt like love can start to feel like limitation. This is not emotional instability, it is soul evolution. Each spiritual awakening strips away a layer of illusion. It burns through the ego, the old patterns, the inherited beliefs that no longer serve. And with each shift, the chosen one becomes more refined, more aligned, more aware. But this evolution comes at a cost. Relationships that were formed before the awakening or during a lower vibration often cannot survive the new frequency. What was once a match becomes a mismatch. Conversations that once flowed become empty. Emotional resonance fades. It's not about blame, it's about vibration. Many partners, even those with good intentions, struggle to understand this. They interpret the chosen one's growth as distance, confusion, or emotional detachment. But in truth, the chosen one is not running away, they are moving forward. And sometimes, forward means leaving behind people who are no longer aligned with their soul's new frequency. It's one of the most painful experiences for the chosen one to love someone deeply, but know that continuing the connection would mean slowing down their own becoming. This pattern often repeats. A chosen one will bond deeply, sincerely. But then, a new awakening arrives, and the bond becomes a cocoon they must break to fly. It can feel like heartbreak, but it is actually rebirth. And the more awakened they become, the fewer people can truly walk with them. This is why many chosen ones appear to live lives of isolation. It is not a preference, it is a consequence of growth, and yet they continue to evolve. Not because they seek solitude, but because they cannot abandon their expansion for the sake of comfort. The right partner will not resist their evolution. They will grow with them, not away from them. And when that connection comes, it will not be based on emotional habit, but on spiritual harmony. Until then, the chosen one must trust that every departure is an act of divine pruning. Not a loss, but a clearing for something higher, purer, and more deeply aligned. They don't belong to the relationship rules of society. From childhood, we are taught how love is supposed to look. Fairy tales, movies, traditions, they all paint the same picture. Meet the right person, follow the right steps, and life will reward you with happiness and belonging. But for chosen ones, this picture never quite fits. Not because they're broken, but because their soul is operating on a frequency that doesn't conform to the structures of this world. Chosen ones were never meant to follow the script. They don't resonate with shallow flirting, with casual dating, with relationships built on transaction or social status. Their love doesn't move according to convenience or culture. It moves according to truth. They do not care for timelines. They are not impressed by labels. They do not crave validation from the crowd. Their heart beats to a rhythm older than time, one that demands authenticity, purpose, and spiritual compatibility. This detachment from social norms can be deeply isolating. The world may mock them, pressure them, question their choices. Family may urge them to settle. Friends may call them picky or unrealistic. But the chosen one cannot force themselves into a box they were never designed to fit in. To do so would feel like spiritual betrayal. Love, for them, must be sacred. It must reflect their soul, not society. As a result, they often walk alone. Not because they reject connection, but because they reject compromise. They refuse to dilute their truth just to feel accepted. They will not pretend to be someone they are not just to fulfill a romantic expectation. They choose depth over comfort, alignment over popularity, soul resonance over social approval, and yet, even in their solitude, they hold space for something real. They believe in a love that is rare, not rushed. A love that is built not on tradition, but on divine timing. They know that being single in a noisy world is an act of spiritual rebellion and spiritual strength. And when that one person comes along, who sees them as they are and doesn't ask them to shrink, change, or perform, The chosen one will love fiercely, fully, and forever. Until then, they walk alone, not in bitterness, but in reverence. Because they know the soul cannot follow rules written by fear. Their frequency silently repels the wrong people. There is an unseen protection surrounding the chosen ones, a force that doesn't always speak, but always moves. Their energy carries a frequency that does more than attract the right ones. It repels the wrong ones, without confrontation, without chaos, without the need for explanation. Those who are not meant to walk their path simply fall away, not because of rejection, but because of misalignment. At times, this can feel like a curse. Why does everyone leave? Why do connections fizzle without warning? Why does closeness seem so elusive? But what seems like abandonment is actually divine filtering. It is the soul's way of ensuring that only what aligns remains. The chosen one's vibration is too high to tolerate manipulation, deceit, emotional games, or spiritual laziness. And so, those energies cannot survive in their presence for long. People with hidden agendas, selfish motives, or shallow desires may be drawn to the chosen one's light, but they won't be able to stay. The light will expose them, and in that exposure they will either flee or be transformed, and most will flee, not because the chosen one did anything wrong, but because they did everything right. They stayed true, they stayed real, they stayed aligned. This energetic repulsion protects the chosen one from heartbreak they can't afford, from distractions that would derail their mission, from partners who would drain their light instead of nourish it. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Every person who walks away creates space. Every loss is a clearing. Every lonely season is soil for something more divine. So when the wrong people disappear, don't chase. Don't mourn too long. Instead, give thanks. For the universe is doing what the heart sometimes cannot. It is removing what does not serve your becoming. It is teaching you that love is not something you force. It is something you recognize. And until the right one comes, your energy will remain guarded by divine design. You are not hard to love. You are hard to manipulate. And in a world full of illusions, that is your greatest protection. They crave soul depth, not surface distraction. In a world obsessed with appearances, timelines, and temporary pleasures, chosen ones are searching for something entirely different. They are not interested in shallow attraction, quick validation, or relationships built on aesthetics and convenience. Their soul longs for something deeper, for a connection that doesn't just stimulate the senses, but awakens the spirit. Chosen ones crave love that reaches beneath the surface, that flows from a place of truth, vulnerability, and mutual elevation. This hunger for soul depth is both their strength and their challenge, because what they desire is rare. Most people are comfortable staying on the surface, talking but not sharing, connecting but not committing, loving but not surrendering. But the chosen one cannot tolerate superficiality. They will immediately sense when a connection is built on pretense or ego. They will feel the emptiness of conversations that avoid truth. They will recognize the spiritual poverty behind the illusion of compatibility. They want more. They want to talk about why the stars call to you at night, why silence feels holy, why wounds exist and how love can heal them. They want to explore the sacred geometry of the heart, not just the chemistry of the body. They want a partner who doesn't just see them, but sees through them and is not afraid of what lies there. And because that kind of depth scares people, the chosen one often walks alone. They will not settle for a spark when they were born for a wildfire. They will not pretend it's love just to feel less lonely. They will not trade their standards for temporary comfort. Because chosen ones understand that a connection without depth is a prison disguised as pleasure. They would rather endure the ache of solitude than drown in the noise of surface love. But their craving is not a curse. It is a compass. It's how their soul remembers the kind of love they came here to experience, a love that transcends the physical, that stirs their purpose, that meets them in the realm of God. And until they find that, they wait, not in despair, but in reverence, because they know that what they seek is not found in the crowd. It is found in the rare, in the real, in the sacred. They are being prepared for a sacred union. The solitude of a chosen one is not random. It is sacred. It is divine orchestration. While it may look like isolation from the outside, within the soul of a chosen one, something powerful is taking place: transformation, refinement, spiritual preparation. Their time alone is not punishment. It is preparation for a union that is unlike anything the world teaches. The chosen one is not waiting for a relationship. They are being prepared for a sacred union. This is not ordinary love. This is not two people coming together to feel less lonely. This is two souls forged in the fire of life, called by the same divine purpose, rising together for something higher. And in order for this kind of union to manifest, both individuals must be ready, not emotionally available, but spiritually aligned. Not perfect, but purified. The chosen one must first become whole within themselves. They must shed the illusions, heal the trauma, and remember who they are beyond relationships. So the delays are not denials. The empty seasons are not signs of failure. They are sacred pauses given by the universe to make space for growth, for healing, for elevation. The right partner is not missing. They are being shaped. Just like the chosen one is being molded, so is their divine counterpart. Life is chiseling them both through loss, through lessons, through light. And when they finally meet, it will not be confusion, it will be confirmation. There will be no need for masks, no fear of being too much, no emotional games. There will be recognition, resonance, a calm knowing that this person doesn't just walk beside you, they were designed for you, not to complete you, but to join you on a path already ordained by heaven. Until then, the chosen one is called to trust the timing, to honor the preparation, to understand that divine unions are not rushed. They are written in the stars, sealed in spirit, and revealed only when both souls are ready. What feels like waiting is really becoming. What feels like delay is actually design. And when the moment comes, everything will make sense. Every tear, every goodbye, every quiet night alone, it was never a waste. It was a holy setup, a sacred alignment for something eternal. Conclusion: you were never meant to settle. If you've listened this far, something in your soul already knows your path is different. Your heart is deeper, your energy is rare. You've never been one to follow the crowd, and love was never meant to be an exception. Yes, you've faced loneliness. Yes, you've outgrown people. Yes, you've questioned your worth. But none of that is evidence of failure. It is evidence of your becoming. You are not hard to love. You are hard to fool. And in a world full of superficial connections, that makes you sacred. The love you carry within you is not meant for just anyone. It is meant for someone who has walked through their own fire, faced their own shadows, and is ready to stand beside you, not just in romance, but in mission, in growth, in awakening. So don't shrink to fit into someone's comfort zone. Don't silence your truth to make someone stay. Don't compromise your soul just to feel temporarily held. You were never meant to settle. You were meant to rise. And when your sacred partner arrives, it won't feel like a search. It will feel like a return. Two souls meeting not for the first time, but as if they had always known each other. Until that moment, honor your path, guard your energy, celebrate your depth, and remember your solitude is not empty. It is full of preparation, power, and purpose. If this message spoke to your soul, if you felt seen in these words, type 1111 in the comments below. Let the universe know that you're ready for alignment, not illusion. And if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs this message. Your journey is sacred, your heart is powerful, and your love will not be wasted, it will be fulfilled. Thank you for walking this path with me. You are not alone, you are chosen.